even if I can sit down. All right. We be livin'. We be live. I'll just bounce here like I'm a little kid. Okay. We got lots of stuff. Oh, I wiped a few things off the board. Let me know when we're getting some people on board. Yes, yes, yes. There's a, Andy, there's a sheet there. Want to hand it to me underneath the workout one?
Okay. I saw that, yeah. Coach.
Yeah, yeah.
Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's some things that bother me. How we doing? Anybody coming on board? Nobody here yet. Good. All right, well, all right, folks, we're going live, the Coach and Andy show. I'll get Andy in here in a second, but of course we're just going to build a little bit of an audience first. There's no point in talking if you're not there yet, so you should be getting notification any time now that we're live and good to go. So show us you're out there, and hopefully we got some more good information for you. So I think what I'm going to start with today is a cautionary tale, explaining some, not all, but some of the reasons why I moved out of the training competitors in the hardcore bodybuilding world, if you will. So I have a client, actually a natural competitor, because I'll only train natural competitors now. And he's come to me, he's doing this some new category that they call classic physique, which is okay with me. I'm all about the classic physique. But anyway, he's telling me about his previous contest experience, which represents a good reason why I got out of the competition game, folks. He competed a year or two ago with so-called qualified help, and what he was doing in the last week. Here's a good example of what's wrong when you call something fitness that is anything but. So he was telling me the story of his last competition and what a nightmare it was, even though he had one of the so-called good trainers. Here he was getting ready for his contest, and a couple days before the show, his parents came down, because they live out of town, to support him for the show and whatever. And you would think that the story would go that when his parents came to see him, that they would be overjoyed and say, wow, I can't believe how good you look, and you look amazing, and can't wait to see you in the show, we're so excited for you. Instead, what he told me was his mother took one look at him and started crying. His mother was so upset for how he looked and so worried about him that she couldn't even hold back her tears. And for good reason. He started telling me some of the stuff he was doing to supposedly peak for this show, which was nothing short of voodoo guru nonsense, okay? First of all, they cut his carbs completely. This is a big guy, 6'4", 6'5", dropped weight instantly, not in a good way, okay? Then his so-called coach had him overdosing with water, 17, 18, 19, 20 liters of water, all right, and also cutting out his sodium completely and his carbs. That produces two things. He suffered. One is called hypovolemia, which your electrolytes get so diluted that your electrolytes no longer can perform their function, one of which is to control your heartbeat. So this is important stuff. And then he actually suffered, and it's the first time I've heard of it, because you have to drink an awful lot of water for this to happen. But he actually suffered water intoxication, which means he actually got drunk from drinking too much water. And not just drunk, but couldn't control his balance, couldn't control even some speech, couldn't control his thinking, things like that. And this was all done in the name of peaking a contest, for a contest in the last couple days. And like I said, if your parents come to see you and support you for a contest, and they start to cry rather than be excited for you, what does that tell you? And I saw too many. The reason I'm repeating this story, it was all too frequent for me, which is why I got out. I got tired of other coaches comparing their knowledge to mine when they were doing more damage than good, more harm than good to people. That should never, ever happen. I don't care how he did in the show. Enough of this. Yeah, but I won. Forget all that stuff. If you almost die in the process, your body's going to remember that. And next time around, your body's going to prevent you from doing that. So very, very important sort of anecdote to start off with. I'm tired of hearing stories like this. It's even worse for the ladies, the kind of crap they go through to produce a physique. If looking your best means you're feeling your worst, there's something wrong with that equation, folks. And you need to drum that through your head. So that's a rant for today while I'm waiting to build an audience. How we doing? We get an audience building? Okay, great. And of course, we'll answer your questions. You can interrupt us anytime. And of course, we got things to say and demonstrate as well. And come on in, Andy. Might as well bring the guy candy into the show. You guys don't want to just listen to me. So another thing I had to write down is at the gym that we work out at, they have a big screen where they put on these so-called motivational quotes, and sometimes it makes me scratch my head. Just because someone famous or once famous or an icon made something into a quote doesn't mean it's a good quote. There's all kinds of bad quotes out there. This one is from Muhammad Ali, and it plays at our gym all the time. Yeah. And Muhammad Ali said, "I hated every minute of training, but I said, don't quit. Suffer now and live the rest of your life as a champion." Folks, that is about the dumbest thing I've ever heard as a motivational quote. If you hate every minute of training, you're not going to do it for very long. I hate broccoli. If you tell me I'm going to eat broccoli every day because I'll look better, I'm not going to eat broccoli every day. I'm not going to do something I hate and tell myself it's rewarding. It's a difference between sacrifice. And the difference there is, compare that to the Tom Brady quotes, and I've got a gazillion of them because I respect the guy so much. The Tom Brady who called himself a grinder. And the reason he called himself a grinder is because he said how much he loves the preparation. He's a guy that goes into work and loves practice and loves preparation and loves the process that it takes to be great. So that's an important thing. Putting this on our gym screen and saying it's motivational, that Muhammad Ali said, "I hated every minute of training, but I did it." How is that motivational? If you don't embrace the lifestyle, it's not going to last. So just because someone famous said something doesn't mean you should internalize it and absorb it as worthwhile, because that's a really dumb quote that's supposedly reflective of the fitness lifestyle. So, that makes no sense, folks. The goal is the process, and the process is the goal. To be a champion, you got to have to love the process, period. Correct?
Oh, definitely. That's always been a head scratcher for me too, because there seems to be so many people that just hate everything about, they don't like exercise, they don't like dieting, and at some point it's like, well, why are you doing this then? Like, what
if you
value
don't,
does this
yeah,
have in your
if you
life?
don't value, appreciate, and actually like the process and the sacrifice, you're not going to stick with it. So find a way to work your way around. Quality of mindset determines quality of behavior. So find a way to figure that out, folks. And just, here's what I think of that quote by Muhammad Ali. All right, that's about what it's worth. I prefer quotes of people who are grinders. It's like the great coach Bear Bryant said, "I'm not looking for players with a will to win. Everybody at this level has that. I'm looking for the players who love to do what it takes to prepare to win. That's who I'm looking for." Same thing here, okay? Attitude is everything. If you have a goal without the attitude that it takes to get to that goal, guess what? The best coach in the world is not going to be able to help you. So that's something I want you to put into your little keppas and contemplate and think about. Today we're going to do a bunch of tricep stuff, but first I've been wanting to shoot reverse hyperextensions for you for a while, because it's used to be one of my favorite moves. I know Andy loves it. Great for the posterior chain, lower body, kinetic chain awareness and things like that. But one of my stability balls finally ran out of gas, so I had to go get another one and get it properly inflated. So we'll show you the reverse hypers. I think you'll like it. I'll show you a few variations of it, and then we'll get on with some other stuff. And of course, feel free to ask your questions. You let us know when some comments or questions come in there, cameraman, and we're good to go. So the reverse hypers, Andy's going to show them to you. We're getting some more viewers.
Lots of really positive comments and likes and hearts and things, so that's what we like to see.
Appreciate your likes. I know you'd rather look at Andy, but to get more likes, I'll do a happy dance. All right? Yeah, I know, I can't dance. Forget it. Okay, so reverse hypers, folks. First, we're going to do a single stability ball. You need something to grab onto. Andy likes grabbing the lower end of the bench. So you know what a hyperextension is. This is just a reverse hyper, all right? So he comes up, he uses the ball to get range of motion. Great for tightening the glutes. All right, so legs really spread far apart is a digression. Legs together is a progression. Beautiful. Okay, relax that. You can see that works everywhere in the lower posterior chain, glutes, low back, but in a very healthy, supportive way. And now we're going to do a 2 stability ball variation of that. So the effect is more pronounced when you squeeze the ball between your legs. So that's very, very important as well. So you're going to see Andy do this now. He's got the ball between his legs, brings it up, gets in the right position. Boom. All right, and holding that ball between the legs takes tremendous effort. You can see the glutes nice and tight. Bam, you want to squeeze that with the ankles and with the ankles. Good. In and out, up and down. Great motion. Probably looks better without me in the way, but so that's a reverse hyperextension. You want to put that in for low back health and glute tightening and toning the glute area and getting everything working in a kinetic chain. Very, very efficient movement. Again, underused and underappreciated. So we use that a lot, especially for the ladies. Very, very good exercise to tighten and tone without building the area, and very good for kinetic chain awareness. Tell them why you like it so much.
Oh, it's, I mean, you feel everything in your posterior chain. It's definitely an attention getter at the gym too. I mean, I had a lot of comments over the years on that one from men and women, but it's certainly, but in saying that, it can be one of those exercises that people feel almost uncomfortable doing.
I was just going to say, in the gym, a lot of people, because it attracts attention, they won't do it.
Exactly.
I'm like, I'll do whatever works.
Yeah, it's a killer movement. I mean, it's awesome. And there's no lower back strain as opposed to a regular hyperextension too. So
yeah, if you're worried about other people looking at you while you're at the gym, folks, that just makes no sense at all. You should be there for your own progress and not for any other reason.
Yeah, definitely.
People are people. So it looks like we got a question or a comment.
Yeah, Scott, do you want your abs to come off the ball like Andy is?
Sure, yeah, Andy's got a full range of motion there. You don't need to stay tight on that. There's a little bit of sometimes what I call personal trainer lore, where they want to overemphasize too much stuff and overthink everything. So Andy's doing it in the way that he feels it the most, and I'm all about feeling it, all right? It's all about the internal mind-muscle connection, more so than about strict outside-in rules, okay? If something looks good, it's probably functioning good. If it looks funky, it's probably really funky. So you want to keep that in mind as well. So very, very important stuff there. Also, I want to say, just before I forget, because I'm going to forget, our podcast, Smarter Sculpted Physique, we had on Dan John this previous week, and I'm just tickled pink and thrilled that we had JC Santana on before recording this today. So once Mike gets in there and edits that, that'll be coming out. You don't want to miss that. This guy's worth every sentence that he spews out is words of wisdom and fitness knowledge. So I was thrilled, just thrilled to have him on the podcast.
Pretty pumped up when I got here. So
yeah, just pumped up, and hopefully he'll be back. So shout out
in the living room.
Yeah, stay tuned for that Smarter Sculpted Physique podcast with the great JC Santana. So I'm glad he could fit us into his schedule. So that's the reverse hyper. Any questions, comments?
Yeah, Scott, what are your thoughts on hip thrusts and bridges for glute development?
I love normal hip thrusts and bridges, just mostly with body weight, things like the TRX, the stability ball. I did a whole program with Krista from the gym where I have a whole body weight glute training for women at home because you want to tighten and tone. One of the overemphasized exercises I see these days is these hip bridges with the barbell, and everyone's loading up the weight. Listen, in that leverage position, you're going to be able to lift a lot of weight. You're not doing anything more. And so how awkward it is to even prepare to do that movement weighted is a waste of gym time, where you're not going to get a whole lot more muscle recruitment from doing that. And again, because of the leverage advantages of being in that position, you're going to have to use so much weight, it's going to be so uncomfortable that it's not worth doing. And who wants to build a big ass anyway? I don't know anyone that says, I really want a bigger butt and a wider waist. Can you help me with that? Yeah, I can help you with that. Squat really, really heavy with your legs wide and low reps, and do hip thrusters with a lot of weight on the bar. That makes no sense to me, but again, I'm all about mass with class and symmetry and things like that. That's why Andy is with me on this show, all about showing balanced physique development. Good question, though. Very, very good question.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. What else? Anything else? We're good to go? So we're going to move on. I'm going to show you progressions and digressions, how to make an exercise easier, how to make an exercise harder, how to make it more efficient, okay? So these are important things that we need to get on this, beyond this notion of personal training certification of progressive resistance, that the only way to make something harder is to add weight. That's a misunderstanding of the principles. You can make something harder in all kinds of different ways by making it more effective. So it should be about progressive effectiveness, progressive intensity, right? A basic plank is only going to work for so long, and then what do you have to do? You have to progress it.
Absolutely.
Right? And you can't do that by adding weight. You do a plank with someone sitting on your back, okay, but that's not really an effective progression, all right? So one of the ways I want to illustrate that to you is through the diamond push-up for triceps. First of all, because it's an underused, underappreciated exercise, and second of all, because I can show you lots of ways to take something simple and employ what we call Abel tweakology and tweak it a little bit to make it that much harder. So Andy's going to show you the basic diamond push-up. So all that means is you're going to put your hands in a diamond shape. He's going to start from the floor. Now the easy variation is legs really far apart to increase your base of support and a short range of motion. All right, now look at the triceps. This is a tricep exercise. It's not a push-up for whole body. It's a tricep exercise. Good, pause. He's going to pause for a moment. And now the next way he progresses that is just legs together. So now, because he has less base of support, with his legs together, the movement becomes even harder. All right, so now one of the ways we would progress that is we go through the same level of progression. When those two variations become too easy, then you'll do it with a medicine ball. Get the diamond shape, feet spread wide apart for a base of support, shorter range of motion so you can peak contract the triceps. Maybe get them from the side there too, cameraman. All right, good. Now feet together. All right, feet together is a harder progression, short range of motion. All right, working the lateral head and the rear head and the inner head, which you can't see. Good, good. All right, take a little pause on there. And then, of course, we want to dial that up another notch. What are our only options to change? Well, we can change our foot position. And if we change our foot position in a specific way, it'll throw more stress on the upper body joints. So we elevate the legs and we go through the same procedure. So first he goes off the floor, elevates the legs on the bench. Feet nice and wide, gets in the diamond shape. Short range of motion to pump up the tricep. Very good pumping exercise. All right, there you go. And now feet together is a harder variation. Bam. Excellent. And now, of course, we go through the next progression. So now he's going to get elevated feet wide. Up on the medicine ball for stability demands, short pump, lockout, wide base of support as the first progression, and then feet together as the ultimate progression. Down, elbows flare wide, really flexes the weight up rather than pushing it up. You think flex, squeezing the weight up. Excellent, excellent, excellent. So that's the diamond push-up with variations, showing you how to dial it down, showing you how to dial it up. If even the most dialed down floor position with feet wide is too hard for you, then what do we do? Well, to make it harder, we elevated the legs. So to make it easier, what would we do? We would elevate the arms. So just show them face, maybe I'll take the bench out here so they can see you. You just come around here. So now he'll do it with his arms on the bench, and this is the easiest variation, very short range of motion. Right? So it's all about angles of contraction, ranges and planes of motion, and if that's even too hard, then you just go against the wall. Same idea, right? All about understanding leverage, all about understanding the alphabet of the body, the ground, the body, and gravitational pull, okay? Tell them what I'm leaving out, or tell them what you want them to know about the diamond push-up.
It's always been one of my favorites. The biggest thing with it is just short range of motion and hard lockouts. So you want to fully extend your triceps and really flex and squeeze them, right? So
awesome, yeah.
And yeah, that's about all there is to it.
And so very, very hard. And if you can't do the basic versions, don't worry, you'll get there, okay? Just keep focusing, keep believing, work to your own level,
yeah,
all right?
Absolutely.
Don't worry, you can't do a double reverse hyper with 2 stability balls like Andy did. I mean, that's not the point here. The point is demonstrate, illustrate, educate.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's what we're all about.
The point is never to master a workout in the first week, right? Like so many people,
That's
they
right.
get on a program, they think they're gonna,
Yeah.
you know, just burn right through it the first week, and it's just, it doesn't work like that. Like,
Yeah, because I got some. Sorry to interrupt you.
no, I was just gonna say, I don't really get going on a program until probably about the 8-week mark. Like I don't really start hitting my stride until about
What we call the mastery phase.
8-9 weeks in. So.
But even with certain exercises, folks, just keep in mind, you'll get there. Start where you're at, okay? If you're 10 yards behind the starting line for you, that's your starting line, that's fine. So in the future, I'll be posting some stuff, from some pretty athletically endowed people that my whole career I couldn't do. What you're going to see that I'm going to post on Facebook as clips. And I don't know 1% of the population that could.
Yeah, pretty
it's
special.
Just, pretty special. So you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So it's just about showing the human capability and the fascination with the human body and what it can do. It doesn't mean we should all go out and try these things, right? So again, work at your own level and you'll get there. So just keep believing and work at it. So any comments or questions we need? Nothing. Okay. Now hopefully are people still in there? Are we tuned in?
Yeah, absolutely.
Tuned in and turned on, folks? Okay, hopefully you are. So we want to do a couple other exercises to illustrate. Let's do the one-arm dumbbell extension. Just your normal one-arm dumbbell extension since we got the camera right there. You don't need to move, I don't think. Like I said, this one will be all about triceps because we're a little short on time. But we'll show Andy working some magic here. So simple one-arm dumbbell tricep extension, one of our favorites. I'll get you to actually turn. Yeah, let's just move this. Face the. I didn't have that quite right, so let's try that. Simple but effective. So Andy reaches up. All right, comes down. Again, coming down for the range of motion for the tricep, not necessarily the whole arm. So what I'm going to do, Andy, stop. I'm going to turn this right around so people can see. They can't see much there. Yeah. There we go. Right. So watch this, folks. Watch how effective this movement is. Good. See how he pushed the arm back there? Boom. Look at the cross striations and the feathering in the triceps. We getting all that? Looking good?
Looking awesome.
Yeah, so he gets a peak contraction. Look at the feathering and the dancing of the tricep. Awesome. Good stuff. Oh, he's still coming in there. All right. Good. So that's a one-arm dumbbell tricep extension. Done the right way. All right. Notice how Andy put his arm back first in order to get in the plane and range of motion within which tricep functions. So anything you want to tell them about that?
Just be careful you don't come down too low. I think that's a big thing. I even used to do it myself. So where I was
On the eccentric.
Yeah, I was bringing the dumbbell weight, down too far. Puts more strain on your shoulder, your elbow, where you don't want it. So you want it on your triceps. Keep it a shorter range, and just remember to fully extend. And imagine like you're pushing the dumbbell through the ceiling. That's really what.
Let's show you another very example of tweakology with a tricep exercise. We'll do. Let's put this back, and we'll do 2 variations of the reverse tricep pushdown. So the simple variation, you're going to have to move on this, cameraman. So the simple variation is just directly facing the machine, all right, and coming down. And again, you want to make it a tricep extension and not a kickback, trailing hand on your hip or something supportive, doesn't matter. All right, so boom. And if you want to get in from the side, camera, or you can already see the side.
Good looking shot.
Okay, very effective movement. Again, you can see these variations aren't about how much you lift, they're about how you lift it. So speaking of that, just pause for a minute. Now we do a little Abel tweak of this, and what we do is kind of a reverse motion of a concentration curl. It's still reverse grip because the palms is up. Andy's going to show you this variation, same movement done differently. All right, we get a nice eccentric contraction. Look at that dancing. Can you get all that, cameraman? Awesome.
Coming to the dance.
There you go. Look at the fibers all twitching and dancing because Andy's so lean. And that shows you another effective movement and the back head of the tricep that gives it so much depth. Good stuff. So that's another example of what we call tweakology. Just tweaking a movement to create a different movement pattern that affects fiber recruitment. So I know that second variation was new to you. Tell them a little bit about it.
Yeah, that's probably my new favorite tricep exercise actually. So yeah, it's almost the opposite of a dumbbell concentration curl for biceps. So, but just yeah,
Peak contraction, peak
wicked
contraction.
awesome contraction. Yeah, so
Yeah,
that was-
awesome.
Hey, could one of you guys elaborate a bit regarding how the exercise should be performed and felt with low reps and higher weight versus higher reps and lower weight?
Well, that's a good question, but there's certain exercises you
Yeah.
don't want to do for low reps and higher weight. The one-arm dumbbell extension's fine. You can load up on that. Things like this you don't want to do for 5 reps and heavy
Yeah.
load because you're going to start swinging it. And you're going to start using too many other muscles to execute the movement. So a lot of the times certain movements call for high reps. For instance, let's go into the cable kickback. Andy's gonna set up the cable tricep kickback, which one of the most bastardized exercises in the gym, mostly by women because they do it with a dumbbell and they stand like this and go like this and get absolutely nothing out of it. Why? Because there's no eccentric force on the muscle, and if there's no eccentric force, that means that there's not going to be no maximum concentric force either in terms of intensity. So Andy's going to show you if you're going to do the kickback, you do it with cables. And you're never going to do this with a heavy load because you're going to have to swing the weight to get up and the trauma on your elbows will be way too much. So he comes out, he backs up really far so you get maximum stretch. All right, notice how he puts that elbow in a bent position and boom. And can you get that, cameraman, of the tricep? Andy, just angle yourself more this way. There we go. There we go. Bring it in. All right. Look at that, folks. Don't tell me you can't see that, cameraman, because you'd have to be blind. Good angle. And the only reason this is effective is because we're doing it with a cable. All right? So beautiful. Rear head, lateral head. Awesome. Put it back. But that's not something you're going to do with a heavy weight, because if you do, you're going to have to throw it into position, and you're going to invite a whole lot of unnecessarily joint trauma on the elbow. So that's very important. Tell them a little bit about the feel of that.
Yeah, that's probably the only effective way to actually do tricep kickbacks. I tried them with dumbbells obviously a long time ago and got nothing out of it. So the cable offers you that constant tension. It's the only way to do it, but yeah, it's certainly an exercise that lends itself to doing higher reps. Like it's a pumping, finishing move almost. So
It's a development exercise.
Yeah.
So with muscle development, you want to surf the curve, right? You're going to have exercises for low repetitions, and then you're going to want to go all the way up to higher repetition ranges and invite more fiber recruitment. Very important point. Any comments or questions coming in? No?
We're good.
We're all good? People are liking?
Yeah, there's a few likes.
Well, just a few.
Just a few
Oh,
so
no,
far.
We'll have to sign off.
Quiet
Okay.
crowd today.
All right. Another thing I wanted to mention to you, I'll be posting, or maybe I'll talk about it in Sunday's Breakfast with the Coach, but someone just sent me a nice study. They found a tribe. Of course, they like looking at cultures that are untouched by modern abundance, modern convenience. I told you about it. They found a tribe of people living without the aids of modern conveniences. And what they found was these people had the healthiest hearts of anyone they've studied on the planet. And guess what, folks? Over 70% of their diet's from carbohydrates. A mix of starches, all right, and grains, and fibrous carbohydrates. So here we go again, explaining that if you look... Yeah, it sounds like your diet. If we look cross-culturally and we see what supported cultures for eons and eons was starches, all right? In South America it was maize, also known as corn. In Ireland and those regions it was potatoes. And of course in the Orient it was rice. So to demonize these starches makes absolutely no sense if you study nutrition culturally and historically. And I just wanted to get that in. And I'll be sharing that study probably Sunday in my Sunday Breakfast with the Coach session. Maybe I'll even read it, and then I'll post in the show notes or somewhere along the line on my Facebook page. So I wanted to get that out there before I forgot. Very, very important. Anything else? Anybody
Andy,
wants to see?
You're looking leaner this week. Have you been doing anything different?
No.
Quite a few comments. Yeah.
That's
See, I can speak to that. I'm sometimes the reason someone like Andy will look leaner one week than the other actually has to do with his food choices on his cheat day.
I was going to say that could be. I think I had less water storage this week. I didn't go, maybe as hard as I sometimes do.
And it's not even going hard; it's the food choices.
Yeah,
right?
that too. Yeah, so I probably, I think the week before I had pizza, a lot of pizza. Pizza for me it tends to cause me to fill out a lot more than other foods. So that could be a thing. That could be an issue. I didn't have pizza last week, so.
And it's good that people notice that. But it's degrees of variation, right? Because even sometimes, former photo shoots, right? Andy would go to one photo shoot, you're not tight enough. All right, and then he goes to the next photo shoot. You're too tight. You're too muscular.
Yeah, it's
so
too hardcore or whatever.
Yeah, being on the cycle diet allows us that variation. Again, this time diet-wise, we can employ what we call tweakology. And they want a softer look. Okay, we'll do this.
Yep.
Which usually means we'll just go closer to a cheat day, to a photo shoot. They want a harder look. Well, we'll just back off the cheat day a little bit for a longer period of time. Get a harder, more ripped look. But this time wasn't intentional. Just Andy being Andy, as the baseball expression goes. Just Manny being Manny.
I actually get stuff like that quite a bit too, where people will be like, "Oh, you look bigger, you look tighter," and I'll be, I don't know.
Yeah, wasn't planned.
Yeah, wasn't.
The other one is just cell volumization, right?
Yeah.
So you eat on one day and do high reps the next, you're going to look pumped up like a balloon with air, right?
Yeah.
So we talked about that in the past as well. Good question, though. Really good question.
Yeah, no, definitely.
What else? Nothing. Let's show you some overhead rope then. Want to grab the rope there, Andy?
Yep.
And then we'll do this sideways so they can do the side version. We'll show them that. So you're getting lots of gems, lots of pearls here today, folks. So maybe do it out to the side there. I mean, you can angle it if you want. It's up to you.
That's probably good here. That's probably.
Load big
Is
enough.
that a good angle, Brian?
Yeah, we're looking good, bud.
So here you go, folks. Boom! Look at this. Again, you see the feathering in the triceps. You see that there, cameraman? Getting all that in there. So you see the cross striations Andy's got from years and years of innervation training. Doing it right. Not worrying about how much he's lifting, worrying about how he's lifting it. Excellent. Good stuff. Yeah. And didn't you say we didn't do the one-arm high angle?
Yeah, concentration curls.
We didn't do that.
No.
All right, we're going to show you one very, very underused and underappreciated. I don't know what angle you'll need, but you do the weight. You adjust the weight. Here's one bicep now. We're going to go to bicep, and I'll just move this out of the way for the cameraman. Hang on. Coming through your shot, folks. So we did this last week, and it worked so well for another project we're doing. Thought we'd show you high angle concentration curl. Some people never even heard of it, and it's underused, underappreciated. Andy's going to show you both arms so you can get a shot of both. He comes back from the machine. You got enough weight there for a little tension?
Yep.
Comes back from the machine, maximum stretch on the buys. Go ahead. Boom. Check that out, folks. Other hand on his hip. You see a perfect alignment. Look at the line. Straight line. All right. Maximum stretch produces maximum contraction. See the peak on the buys? That's what we call training for mass with class. Balanced, symmetrical physique. Switch hands. So now you'll just see it from the inside. So, there you go. Hand on the hip. All right, maximum stretch. Boom. Origin to insertion point. Look at the peak contraction he gets. Stretches it out as he kind of like reaches almost for it to get the maximum stretch in order to get the maximum contraction. Booyah. Good. Good, that's good. And that's the high angle concentration curl. Underused, underappreciated. You seldom see people doing it, or they're doing it wrong. They're trying to do 2 arms at a time and things like that.
That's the one I probably see most, where people are doing 2 arms, but they're not even,
they're not one.
And they're kind of coming forward because they're using way too much weight. It's you're way better off doing the single arm version. You can feel it way better.
Yeah, last week I did a quote card on Facebook where I said sometimes lifting less accomplishes more. This is one of those exercises
Yeah.
that prove that.
Yeah,
Because
definitely.
if you're using too much weight in certain exercises that your form breaks down, then what's the point? As you saw, Andy's line of action there, his arm was perfect, right? It wasn't going up and down in terms of the humerus, right? It was just
Yeah.
staying right in line, which is exactly what you want. So underused, underappreciated exercise to accomplish mass with class, balanced, symmetrical physique is the high angle cable concentration curl. So I'll be posting that at another time as well. So any comments or questions coming in?
Yeah, there's something here from Jennifer. Hi, Coach and Andy. I'm following Scott's 4-day MET program, and it says choose any back exercise or choose any posterior chain exercise, etc. Is it better to make the same exercise choices for, say, 8?
8 weeks?
Yeah.
Well, it depends on someone's level of conditioning and fitness. If that's a comfort zone for you and you're not caught up with the pace of MET training for those people who don't know is a pretty fast-paced circuit
it's pretty
style
intense,
stuff, pretty intense. So if you're comfortable that way, then fine. If you want to introduce other exercises, posterior chain, like the reverse hypers that we did earlier, feel free. When I write programs that says choose any, that means that other parameters of the program are what matters more. So oftentimes I'll have a program, you know, you've been through a gazillion of my
Absolutely.
programs.
Some
Oftentimes I'll have a program where you don't get an exercise choice and the variant is in the repetitions. And then other times like this, the reason you get an exercise choice is because the variant, that is the variant and the reps are the constant or the focus. So all that's explained in my Program Design Masterclass. You can go to programdesignmasterclass.com and read more about that, how and why I design programs, things like constants, variables, independent variables, dependent variables, things like that in terms of program design. Excellent, excellent question though. Did you want to add something to that?
No, I
Exercise
was just going to say, yeah, sometimes I'll get programs from you. Some things are very constant, and then there's also variables too, but I mean, there's a method to the madness, right? So I mean, that's the thing about program design, and a good reason to sign up for the Program Design Masterclass, because I mean, I see so many people, I mean, their workouts are just random exercises, they just kind of toss in there, there's, you know, no rhyme or reason to it, and
Well, and that's why I would say the rhyme or reason part, instead of saying there's a method to the madness, I would like to say in terms of my program design, is it takes the madness out of the method.
yeah,
Right?
there you go.
No CrossFit nonsense
Yeah,
and the
yeah.
rest of
It's
the
not
rest of
just a
this stuff.
collection of random stuff, right?
Yeah, so we take the madness out of the methods
Yeah,
in
true.
proper program design. So
Yeah.
that's very important as well. Any questions on diet? Since you're asking how lean Andy looks this week compared to last week.
Actually, you must be a mind reader, Scott.
Okay.
Is it possible to eat only carbs after workout? How does it affect the muscle growth?
It's possible. I mean, it's not good, not bad, not indifferent. It's
No.
calories throughout the day that matters in the big picture.
Yeah.
You know, forget about these windows of opportunities of pre-workout and post-workout and peri-workout. I was pointing out to Andy in the gym the other day, this poor girl. She works at the gym too. Complete waste of gym time. She came into the gym, I think she spent the first 15 minutes walking on a treadmill. Then she came over, she put a Bosu bubble side down and was standing on one leg doing leg curls, all right? And like completely wasting her gym time. And then I noticed between sets she was shaking a bottle and drinking it. This lady had like 40 pounds of weight to lose. None of what she was doing, including that intra-workout drink, was doing anything positive for her in that goal, right? So a lot of times you have to know what you're doing. And I've said this a million times. Unless you're a high-level athlete, and I mean high level as in you earn your living because of the level of training you're at, unless you're a high-level athlete working at maximum work capacity all the time, then what you eat before and during and immediately after your workout is not going to apply to 90% of the people 90% of the time. What do you drink during your workout?
Water fountain, water, good old water.
Water. That's what we drink during our workouts because that's all you need during your workouts. Unless your workouts are over 90 minutes and they're at a high level, at a high pace, and they tend to tweak more toward endurance, then forget about all that stuff. So Immediately after workout, have a nice balanced meal, but all your meals throughout the day should reflect balance. So very, very good question. Boy, the questions we're getting in the last few weeks have been awesome.
Scott, what are your views on eggs? So many diet insist on egg whites only.
I'm a partial to the egg whites because I come from the bodybuilding world. I just find more volume in the egg whites, and I prefer a moderate to low-fat diet.
Absolutely.
So,
I was going to say the same thing.
6 days a week for the last 30 years. For me, it's 8 egg whites and oatmeal or oat bran or grits. So I do that 6 days a week, and on the 7th day, whatever. But I'm partial to the egg whites because of the satiety effect. There's more volume, tends to sit in the stomach a little better, a little longer. Go ahead.
No, same thing. I eat 12 egg whites every morning with my oatmeal. I love them.
And you've done pictures of that meal, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
So
yeah, definitely.
12 egg whites when it's scrambled up, folks.
Yeah,
That's a mountain. That's a plate
pretty
full.
big volume of food.
That's a plate full of food because I only have 8, and I'm going. It always feels like a feed.
And I've always done the low fat, higher carbs. So I mean that fits right in with it. If I were to have, the same equivalent of protein in whole eggs, I mean that's. I think there's 5 or 6 grams of fat per 1 egg, right? So I mean, it's just it's not gonna fit with my diet approach. So. And
ironically enough, even the other day we went live with the lovely Krista, who's helping us with a couple upcoming projects for the ladies, and we loved it when she just sort of blurted out, "I love carbs."
Yeah.
Right. So I mean, I'm getting a little off topic, but I mean, there's someone else who looks good all the time. Why? Eats carbs all the time, especially starches. So you can go back. Earlier on my Facebook fan page for the week and look at that Facebook Live with Krista where she talks that she eats oatmeal, she eats rice, she eats potatoes, she eats yams. Hello, welcome to our world of sustainable diet regimens, all right? No keto nonsense here. But yeah, we're partial to egg whites, but a lot of that has to do with my background. You really can't go wrong either way in terms of biological value and what we call net protein utilization. Whole egg or egg whites are going to be really, really high on the chart, so you really can't go wrong.
Just a technical thing here. We'd like to know if your picture is effective. We've had some messages about a weak connection. If you have a problem, please let us know.
Us?
Same as last week, Scott.
Oh, yeah. All right. I don't know about a weak connection. We're showing a weak connection?
We're showing a weak connection, and if it's affecting the picture, if you could let us know so that we could correct it.
Oh, we're asking you guys.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're asking you guys, are we coming through loud and clear? Is the picture good? Just give us some thumbs up if we're okay, or some hearts, because we're getting a notification from my iPad that we got a weak connectivity. So just let us know that you're reading us loud and clear. What are they saying there, boss?
It's sort of a mixed message.
Okay. Well, we're probably going to sign off anyway, folks. That was some tricep stuff, some reverse hyperextension stuff, unless there's a comment or question that came in. No, we're good. All right, folks, that's the Coach and Andy show for this week, and hopefully you'll stay tuned, and week to week we'll have way more coming back at you. Any parting words for everybody?
You can check me out at Real Andy Sinclair on Instagram or realandysinclairfitness.com. That's my website. If you want to check those out,
awesome.
There you go.
Old lion, young lion. We got way more coming back at you, folks. Appreciate you being here, and it wouldn't make a lot of sense for us to be here if you weren't out there. So stay tuned, and we'll got more next week.